Hey, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this. It's going to be a long one. There's a lot to go over, a lot of material, a lot of understanding to go over and obtain. So here it goes. And I'm going to share this too so everybody can read it, but honestly, I can't sleep. I can't ignore it. Like, I woke up, I did a little bit of scrolling, been doing a little bit of research here and there over the last couple of days, trying to understand what's happening. This came to light. When I saw it, it was 12 minutes. It's about an hour old now. And I'm trying to get this into one take. So let's get right into it. CCOT. Okay. The prison in El Salvador. The Centro de Confinamiento del Terrorismo. CCOT. This prison in El Salvador where Trump administration is sending men that they believe, quote unquote, are in gangs, end quote, with no due process. I'd like to start by saying we found out yesterday that of 238 men that Trump has sent to CCOT, 179 of them have no criminal record here or abroad. Why are they there? If there's no criminal record, why are they there? Please let that register before you continue reading. No criminal record whatsoever. 75% of these people have clearer backgrounds than a lot of the people you know in the free world out here personally. The names of possibly innocent men are towards the bottom of this post. I'm going to try to break this down in easy to understand sections. Please forgive me if I'm repetitive, and forgive me too as I am reading it. About CCOT, designed and completed in 2023, so this is not in response to overcrowding in other El Salvador prisons. Built to house up to 40,000 inmates for the worst of the worst gang members. This is where they send them. Its aim is to be a permanent solution. No rehabilitation, no return to society. The Justice Minister bluntly stated that prisoners at CCOT will never return to their communities, quote unquote. 8 pavilions with 256 cells. Cells house 80 to 100 men, sometimes more. 100 square meters in size. 19 guard towers, multiple layers of fencing, 24/7 surveillance. CCOT officials refuse to disclose the actual population that exists within CCOT. Okay? Daily regimen. Total lockdown. Prisoners are confined shoulder to shoulder in their cells 23 and a half hours a day. No outdoor time whatsoever. Fluorescent lights remain on 24 hours a day. They have no sense of time, no sleep cycle. They have 30 minutes a day of tightly controlled corridor access. They get to walk down a hallway for 30 minutes a day. No jobs, no classes, no books, no programs of any kind. Nothing. Be thankful for what you do have here in America. Or did. If you obtained any higher education in the system, not in the free world, in America, you're probably one of the lucky ones. If you could even, keep it, it didn't disappear in records or whatever, But that the principle is that so long as it exists within the system and is offered to inmates, it is a privilege, one that not all countries implement or appreciate. Okay. CCTV watches prisoners 24 hours a day like silent gods. Communication and isolation. No visits from families or lawyers. No letters or phone calls. No communication with the outside world whatsoever. All cell signal is blocked for 1.5 mile radius of the prison. Mass virtual trials via video link with up to 900 prisoners at a time. Most inmates have never been formally charged or sentenced. They've never been, why are they there? There's no reason, because they can't get out, because they will not let them out. Because once you're in, you're in. That's it. That's it. There's been a very, very, I think I heard one thing somewhere about one of the only other people that actually was released from El Salvador, had a statement. I haven't really heard of anybody leaving. And I think that's why this is such a big deal. It's like these are people that are being deported, just dumped by plane to El Salvador for no reason. So anybody who wants to come at me and attack me and tell me, oh, if you want to take in the gang member, no, it doesn't math. It doesn't add up. We're not just talking about gang members. We're not just talking about people who want to hurt other people. We are talking about normal people incarcerated in these inhumane boxes for no valid, justifiable, or jurisdiction-based reason. And if that doesn't scare you, then cool, I'm glad. Nothing scares you. Nothing. I think it's a bit naive. No, it's not naivety, because naivety it's not ignorance. You know what's the stake. You know what we're looking at. You're being presented with it anyway, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Ignorance is the lack of knowledge, the lack of the ability to have made the assessment properly based on a lack of knowledge, a lack of information. Okay. Anyway, sorry for my little rant. Next page. Prisoners arrive barefoot and shackled with their heads bowed, forced to kneel in tight rows with their heads shaved upon arrival. If they are to be punished, they are put into even smaller cell that is completely dark. Swift violence for perceived disobedience or breaking of any rule, or even if they perceive you breaking a rule, okay? Which really just means that they can say you did something, whether you did it or not. And that's good enough, because you're already there. There's nobody saving you at this point. A person that's in this predicament, Okay. No sunlight, ever. No clocks, no time markers. This is a form of torture. Inmates experience profound psychological deterioration. I bet. Absolutely. Again, we are talking in this here about 179 people who are in this with no accounts of any criminal record or cause. What blood type are they? Where did they go to school? Where did they live? I want to know everything about what puts these people justifiably in El Salvador. So I feel justified that I want to know every detail of why these people with no criminal record have been sent to El Salvador with absolutely no potential return. And what stops them from doing it to anybody else? What puts us aside? Okay. Juveniles around the age of 16 are in cells with hardened gang members. There's no rehabilitation, so what's the point in separating them? I'm assuming this is their assessment. They don't care who lives or dies in there. It does not matter to them at all. It is a place to come to die. Inmates are required to be alert and obedient at all times during the day. Most sit idly. They are often required to remain silent. The rest of the time, they remain mostly silent out of fear. Sometimes, some inmates have reportedly lost their voices from prolonged silence and stress. Kind of goes back to when you don't use something long enough, you lose it. Like capacity to make your own cognitive assessments and understanding what is happening in front of you. Journalists who have been allowed in reported an atmosphere of unnatural, tense silence. And this may not mean much to the, next regular Joe, okay? But I don't know about you. Have you ever gone, man, it's too quiet, I need to turn my music on? Why do you think they play music on the intercoms when you're at the stores? Because silence does things to people. They want to keep those people coming back. They want to keep it an experience. So they play music. And we're talking about a space omitted completely of all sound. No birds. No, elevator music. Hold music. Nothing. Okay. Living conditions. Sleeping conditions. Each cell is designed for 80 people, but often it far surpasses 100 people. Inmates sleep on the floor, on concrete floors without mattresses or iron bunk tiers, where they must lay across the metal slats. Cells are so crammed full they sleep standing upright or take turns laying down to recharge. No pillows, no blankets. Nowhere in America does this. It's not America. It's not America. I know. Fully aware. Why are these people there? Food. Meals are minimal. Rice and beans. Sometimes a tortilla. Sometimes an egg. No utensils. These prisoners are expected to eat with their hands. Okay. They see no point in spending that money. Okay. Water is extremely limited. They share one jug within their cells of between 80 and 100 people. Malnutrition is common and has been contributed to multiple deaths. Hygiene. Each cell has 2 toilets and 2 sinks for 80 plus men. Not 10, 5, 80 plus men each have 2 toilets, 2 sinks. No privacy ever. Constant filth and foul smells. Bathing and laundry, quote unquote laundry, is done by buckets inside the cell. Nothing comes out. No one comes out. Except for the 30 minutes a day for walking down the hall and going back. No outside medical care is ever allowed. Ever. Over 350 inmates have died, and most were due to medical conditions or abuse from the guards. If someone falls gravely ill, they are treated, if at all, in an on-site infirmary. No prisoner ever leaves the premises alive. For medical care outside, a CCOT official told journalists a chilling acknowledgement that even medical transfers are off the table. Abuse and violence. Much of the abuse is only recorded from the president's former facility. The secrecy and lack of oversight at CCOT makes All reporting difficult. Sorry, I'm feeling like I need a burp. Yep, there it is. Nobody comes out, and dead bodies are viewed through photos. Human rights inspectors are denied all access. Beating by guards are common, especially upon first arrival. One man, temporarily detained, said he watched guards beat all new arrivals for an hour straight. When he tried to tell the guards he was wrongfully detained, and they then broke his ribs and threw him in a dark hole with 320 other men who also beat the crap out of him. Not even supposed to be there. Not supposed to be there. Okay. We're almost there. I've redone this twice now. Yeah, it's 7:10. I started this about 5:30 this morning. Guards often choose to humiliate. At the former CCOT facility, guards would strip inmates naked, push their faces into ice water until they nearly drowned while calling them dogs and scum. Solitary confinement is used as punishment. In the 350 deaths since 2022, it's 2025. It's 320 deaths, 350 plus deaths. There were signs of asphyxiation, fractures, and blunt trauma seen in the photos. Bodies are buried in mass graves with no family notification. No family notification at all. So it'll just happen. You'll never know. Nobody will ever know. Right. Okay, I know what I did. Rival gangs are mixed together as punishment on purpose. One of the few people ever released from CCOT said they often had to sleep and live next to the corpses of their cellmates until the guards got around to removing them. Another man said they had to kneel for hours, and if someone collapsed from exhaustion, they would drag them out like an animal. He said many of these men were not even gang members. Legal, held without trial, virtually no releases. Officials state openly they will never leave. Many are serving decade-long sentences without trial. The United States has sent 238 perceived Venezuelan gang members, 179 with no criminal records in the U.S. or abroad, under a $6 million so they're get the under a $6 million a year deal between Trump and the president of El Salvador. Guys, this is blood money. This is human trafficking. No, absolutely. To the fullest extent. Human rights refer to it as a transnational penal colony, and a U.S. judge has referred to it as wholly lawless El Salvador. CCOT. The president of El Salvador has acknowledged that thousands of men in El Salvador prisons were actually innocent. Many of those men were released from those prisons, but prisoners in CCOT go through a one-way door. Testimonies from inside. CNN and CBS report that inmates sleep on concrete or bare steel. Gang members claim it breaks them emotionally, quote-unquote, and inmates describe it as a place of, quote-unquote, torture and death. Dead cellmates. Guards claim brutality is necessary. Police whistleblowers have admitted innocent men have been detained and abused. One guard stated they have nothing, so they have nothing to lose. Human Rights and Global Response. Condemnation from Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, UN Special Rapporteur on Torture, Inter-American Commissions on Human Rights. CCOT violates Nelson Mandela's rules, UN standard of prisoner treatment. Let that sink in. Christossel reported 3,300 violations in the first year alone. Human rights organizations refer to it as the black hole for human rights. A black hole for human rights. Some things I'd like to add. Our country has sent innocent men here. We already know that. For some for tattoos that they